Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our very first episode of the Super2bit podcast. I'm your boy, Dangerous Dave. Like I said, this is our first inaugural episode of Concord Moment in live streaming digital entertainment. You're welcome. Good to have you guys here. We're going to be doing this probably once a week. We haven't decided on which day yet, but we're going to make it a weekly standard. And the whole point of the podcast basically is to talk about current affairs in the tech and gaming industry. Because I end up bantering about this stuff to Neil anyway. I said, screw it, let's put it on camera. May as well. Let's pump those stats. Speaking of my boy Neil, he's going to be our very first guest / executive producer. Neil, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Dave. Oh, that's a good first camera shot right there.
That's a good side. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the podcast. The very first episode.
Yeah, man. I'm playing the producer / guest at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit messy at the moment, but hopefully we can get it working.
That's it. So Neil's going to be the producer behind the scenes from now on, but he's also going to be our first guest. So he's got his hands full tonight.
This is definitely a technical test episode, eh?
Thank you for offering to juggle for us, buddy. I know you got a beverage there. If you guys are just joining us, get yourself, before we do any talking about anything, get yourself a cold beverage. I think, Neil, you sorted out. You sorted that out?
Yeah, I'm good. I've got my non-sponsored beverage over here. It's what Granny's peach iced tea, as you know.
So yeah, we got Jimmy just joining us. Thank God for saving Neil from the torch. So what we're going to do, guys, is obviously we're going to be talking about some gaming topics, current affairs, and we're going to have a question basically segment at the end of the show, 10-15 minutes where we just answer all your questions. So if we're talking about a topic, smash it in the comments. We're not going to, otherwise, if you guys have watched me stream anything, I'm like gameplay, talking to chat. So we want to keep the conversation rolling as smoothly as we can. Save the questions for the end. That doesn't mean you don't post your questions. You post them as much as you can. We will get to every single one of them. Lee Postotomus, hands full with beer. That's what I'm talking about. Noise. Put your feet up. So I'm gonna quickly break down the topics for tonight's inaugural episode. Spoiled, Neil. They don't deserve it, buddy. First thing we're going to be talking about is a topic on everyone's minds. If you're a gamer, especially a PlayStation gamer, is The Last of Us Part 2. It's a big deal, ladies and gents. Okay, the game's out, I think, on the 20th of June. Everyone's talking about it. A lot of people have their review copies in hand as we speak. Previews are starting to leak out the woodwork, and everything. Everyone says it looks good. It looks amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on it. So we're going to get into it. But having said that, the only real gameplay we've seen is the state of play, the PlayStation state of play. That was, I think it was like 2.5 weeks ago that went live, and from that, there's been a mixed reception. It's been quite controversial, in fact. People are saying that, some people, and this is not everyone, some people have said that they've canceled their pre-orders because the game's maybe a bit too violent. And that's the first topic of tonight. Is The Last of Us 2 going a bit too far with the violence? Like, obviously the graphics are amazing. Some scenes are like photorealistic, but it's so raw and gritty. And that's what I want to get into tonight. And we're going to get some gameplay up in just a second. Raul's so hard not. I'm so used to reading comments. Raul's like, "Where's the card?" Damn it, Raul! This is a new show. Anyway, we love Raul. We'll forgive him this one time. So let's get some gameplay up of The Last of Us. So we're gonna get the state of play that was shown, like I said, about 2.5 weeks ago. If you haven't seen, have no fear. It's spoiler free. Okay, it's nutritious and good for you. So don't worry. You can watch the footage even if you've been on a media blackout. Just watch the footage. Just watch the footage regardless, and we're going to dive into it. So let me begin by saying that even I, the most dangerous of Daves, even I thought that some of the stuff was quite gritty and raw. This is obviously not the stuff we're talking about on screen right now. This is still the peaceful, let's go, explore Seattle stuff. But you'll get to the throat stabbing pretty soon.
There's some violence coming soon. So just some background on my views of this game is that I actually didn't like the first one very much at all. I'm not a huge Naughty Dog fan. I know. Stakes are out. The pyres are burning. I'm going to get burnt at the stake. But like, I find their games super well produced, super amazing graphically, technology-wise. But they kind of just cinematic walking experiences in the most part. And I know Dave disagrees with me on that.
That's it. You know, to Neil's point, I couldn't have asked for a better guest to talk about The Last of Us 2. Neil hates this franchise. He said he hated the first. He's not going to buy the second. I was like, let's get you on the podcast, talk about the second game, because you're going to have some insightful information.
Why would anyone buy this?
Exactly. So Neil's very much not going to buy The Last of Us 2 on launch.
So maybe you should try and convince me as part of the show.
Well, what we're discussing is the violence side. Let's start with that. Let's get into the violence side, because like I love The Last of Us 1. It was my game of the year when it came out. I think my game of the console generation, the PS3. I loved it so much. Bought the remastered, but you know, some guys are saying like cheese and rice. It's, you know, they've really gone like raw and gritty on this one. I saw the throat stab, the chicks playing the PS Vita. And I was like, Jess, that's quite...
No, we're going to see that scene a little bit later on here.
That's coming. There's scenes like this of people like, you know, getting like hung up and like tortured and stuff like that. We saw some footage before the state of play that was also pretty gory and stuff. And I was like, it's fine. But now I'm thinking, Neil, and this is just my you know, 2 cents here. You know, like, I don't know, like, are we, you know, gaming's all about escapism. It's all about jumping into another world and just like kind of blowing off some steam.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to play a game where it's like, you know, it kind of cuts you to the core. And I've played games like that. Let me refresh your memory. Manhunt.
Yeah, well, like, remember all the hoopla that came out when that new remastered Tomb Raider came out, or that new reimagining of Tomb Raider, where she was like flowing down the river, she got stabbed with a stick through like her stomach, and people were like, whoa, man, this is so super violent. And then that's all everyone focused on before the game released. And then when the game actually came out, really good game, and that violent bit was actually only 1 or 2 like set piece sequences where it was super violent like that. And I think, you know, this game as well, like games these days are super violent. We've seen that in like Doom, crazy violence, maybe a bit more unrealistic violence. But, you know, and the way that graphics are going these days, the thing with this game, I think it's because it's kind of realistic looking and so close to home, that people get disturbed by it. Sorry about the black cutouts. That's just part of the video.
That's part of the video. That's exactly it. And for those that are just joining us, thank you for your questions. We're going to get to the question segment at the end of the show to keep the conversation flowing. So please, every comment will be read out. Make sure you drop your comments. I can see some good ones coming through. Like Damien Richards saying, don't think it was too violent. Did you watch the state of play? Did you watch the same video? I'm just curious.
Yeah, anyway, well, you're going to see it now. Don't worry.
You're going to see it now. So, Neil, you know what? You're absolutely right. But, like, you know what got to me? I watched Neil Druckmann talk about it. And, you know, he says, like, Neil Druckmann, he made that joke on the preview as well. And he talks about, like, even the enemies in the game. Like, before you kill a guy, it's not just a nameless AI walking around on, like, a walking path. Guys are talking to each other. Guys have names. You say you kill someone, then you'll get, like, his friend from the other side screaming like in anguish, like, Bob, no, just had a new kid, Bob, why? You know, and it's like, it's kind of cuts to the core. You know, like each kill has way more weight behind it than, say, blowing a cacodemon up in Doom.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing in that Lord of the Rings game. Which one was it? The one where with the Nemesis system, but again, it's like orcs going, oh no, my friend Blonkle, he's dead, and you don't really care because it's like a Rukai orc, and you're just like, oh well. But now, because it's a real person, like, none of these things are new, you know, it's like, it's all been done. And Spec Ops The Line also did that, where it started getting like super dark and really like questionable on your, but that was very much the point, and so is this game, I think. Like, it's not a nice place to be in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not, you know, some might say like, oh, Dave, what's wrong with you, buddy? But like, you know, in the world today, you know, we've just been hit by like, you know, pandemic, you know, and there's so much like crap in the world. I've been looking at games just to escape from that crap, you know, and then you got this game where you're diving into basically worst case scenario, where, you know, we were on the precipice of actually getting there in real life, and I don't know, like, part of me is like, geez, I don't know. You know, I'm very much on the fence. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. But I don't know if they pushed it too far.
Yeah.
That's my question. And we're going to get to with a couple of the scenes I'm talking about in just a second. I don't know where we are here in the gameplay.
This is close. I think she's still doing the sneaking mechanics and all of that stuff, which again is part of this game that I don't like. It's super realistic. So here's inventory management for 10 minutes. Let's make it slow and clunky. And the problem with like a Naughty Dog game, to slightly go off topic while we wait for that scene, is if you don't do exactly what the designers planned you to do, like you'll probably end up dying. And that's what I've always had an issue with this game.
Yeah, you're talking about how linear. Well, The Last of Us 1 was incredibly linear. I mean, obviously, this, you know, I've watched everything that's come out from the guys at Naughty Dog, and they say they've actually, Seattle is quite an expansive, not open world, not like a Red Dead Redemption 2, but there's multiple paths to an objective, multiple paths to tackle or ways to tackle objectives. So it's not nearly as linear. It encourages exploration, you know, around Seattle and the surrounding environment. And so I don't think that's going to be a problem in this game. Yeah, I know Last of Us was kind of claustrophobic though.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's just something, and it could be a bit of the Red Dead Redemption style, where it's like we're going super realistic and super hardcore, and it's going to be this amazing simulation. But will it still have the funness that made the first game so great? Because the first game had that great balance, well, for some people, not for me, between being a great game and being a great story and being, you know, super well produced. Which is,
exactly.
You know, I've no doubt this game is going to look and play and feel amazing. It's just, will it actually be fun? I think we're getting up to that point now.
Well, that's the thing. And like, I mean, one criticism I had about the first game is obviously Joel is the protagonist. He was kind of clunky. He was a bit of a tank, slow moving, you know, like, what I like about this is Ellie is way more like, you know, she's smaller. She can move quicker, dodge attacks, climb over things, jump over gaps. So it's a bit more action focused, which, you know, that's what I'm all about, Neil.
Yeah.
You know, just take me to the action, buddy. And story is kind. They say story is important. I guess it's okay to have a good story, which you know that they've cooked up for this one. But I like the fact that it's a bit faster. Ellie's a bit more, like, I wouldn't say aggressive. She's just a bit more.
Just getting stabbed in the stomach there.
Yeah, there's little. But
I think that's also something. Oh yeah, there's like a little throat stab going on there. But I think it's also because she's a young girl doing this. It's not some bro like killer dude who you can see doing all of this bad stuff. This is a young girl in a really bad situation. So like seeing her slit people's throats, stab people, get stabbed in the stomach, you know, it gets a little bit crazy. So it's
you're right. It adds a bit more weight to the whole thing. It's not some ex-mercenary who's had 5 tours in Vietnam, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of adds to it. And this is the scene that we were talking about earlier. I'm so glad it took us 15 minutes to get here, Neil.
Well, if we spoke about it right at the beginning, then it would be the end of the video, and then we'd have nothing else to talk about with this game.
No, we'll talk about it, but anyway. And I'm looking at a couple of questions just in the corner of my eye here. Just some people, you know, saying things like, I don't mind linear games, and just Lee saying, I see this as a movie, and there are movies that are a lot more graphic than this. And that's a good point. I mean, John Wick 3, I love it. I mean, I'm the biggest John Wick fan. I modeled my entire look on John Wick. So, but she's right. John Wick 3 is violent. But for some reason, that doesn't affect me. Like watching John Wick 3 versus filling the boots of a character in a game, you get so much more attached to the character in a video game in terms of immersion than watching in a movie. You kind of just go on autopilot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's much more visceral. Oh, here's a scene, by the way. You want to talk us through this? This is
the scene. I'll talk you through this. So obviously Ellie is sneaking up on someone just playing a it's a Vita. It's a PSP or Vita? I think it's a Vita.
It's a Vita. They're trying to get that last bit of sales out.
So like, come on.
Even in an apocalypse, we're going to have PS Vitas still available.
So here we go. Obviously for the squeamish look away. She's like, it's a Vita. It's a Vita. Half price on PlayStation Store right now. And here comes the throat stab. Obviously, it was in self-defense, but like you'll see what I'm saying.
And also because of like their face capture tech and all of that, you can like see the anguish and fear and all of that stuff.
Like look at this, like
it's just like
look at the spit. It's more violent than most.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty damn violent and ruthless as well. It's not like talking back. You mentioned earlier that Manhunt game, which came out. 15 years ago, made by Rockstar Games, out of all people.
Yeah. I struggled to play that game.
Yeah, that game got super violent, but like if you played it now, you'd probably be like laughing at how like simple it looked.
It was incredibly simple. Like but you know what really got me about that game is the sound effects. Like the sound effects were so brutally disturbing, and I couldn't play Manhunt. I played for like 2 hours. I can't do it. I feel like
you feel bad afterwards. But like, will you feel like that? This?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm worried that I'm gonna get Manhunt vibes from this. Maybe I mean, that's why we had to have the discussion.
Yeah.
I suspect reviewers are gonna bring it up.
Maybe like, but reviewers these days are weird. They're gonna talk about like maybe the overarching plots and whatever, and it's. As someone I think in the chat said already, it's no more violent than other games. It's no more violent than Uncharted 4. It's just maybe a bit more visceral. Like you're killing as many, probably more dudes in Uncharted, but like now you're doing it slower and more methodically. I can't say it. Methodically. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. It's been a long day.
It has been. And you didn't do 200 burpees.
I know. That's why your mind's fresh. You're ready to go.
I got the blood flowing. But that's exactly what I'm saying. So every kill feels way more weighted than any other game that I've played. So I'm very interested to read previews, reviews, see what people say. Like I said, I'm picking it up day one. I want to know the guys in the chat. What are your thoughts? Do you think Uncharted? Look at you, Neil, fooling my mind with.
It must be those 200 burpees.
Do you think The Last of Us 2 may have crossed the line in terms of violence, or you're like, bring it on? Bring it on. I watched John Wick 3 in my sleep. Bring it on. Let us know in the chat. Like I said, we're going to get to all the questions at the end of for the chat section at the end of the podcast. We'll do that in the last 15 minutes or so. We'll take all your questions. But yeah, so in terms of hype, obviously this game has like all the hype trains heading towards it at the moment. And I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to win all the awards. I think Naughty Dog can do no wrong. That's the thing, Neil. Like, have they ever made a bad game?
They make boring games, in my opinion, but like they're good games. So
you're not a fan of Naughty Dog. I just realized.
I loved Crash Bandicoot. That's a great game because that game was actually like a game.
What did you dislike about Uncharted?
Uncharted, same problem. Like they had that free Uncharted collection recently on PlayStation.
It was free, yeah.
Yeah, on PSN. So I was like, sweet, let me play. Because I tried to play Uncharted 2 about 5 years ago, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, it's been a while. I'm an older, more mature person. Let me try again. Got to the exact same spots, exact same point, and I was like, nope, don't like this game. It's so stupid. It is basically just a walking simulator.
You're just not a Naughty Dog fan. And that's a shame because they're making probably some of the best games in the history.
They're making the most cinematic and well-produced games. The best game, no way. Like, this game is not Metal Gear Solid 5. That game had terrible story, janky production, but amazing gameplay. If you wanted to run into a group of guys and murder everyone, you could do that. If you wanted to go super stealth and not make a single noise and not even kill anyone, you could do that too. This game, you basically have to do exactly what the developers want you to do. Otherwise,
as I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be nearly as linear as the first game. There's going to be multiple paths through each level and multiple ways to take down bad guys. I see my boy JPJ, but his new name is Squeaky Bum Jimmy on the chat. New phone, who does? By the way, if you're just joining us, we're going to save all the questions. Please drop your questions in the chat regarding the stuff we're talking about. We're going to answer all the questions in the last 15 minutes of the show. We just don't want to stop the conversation.
I was thinking maybe at the end of this segment, we do the Uncharted questions.
Uncharted questions.
I mean, you see what happens. The Last of Us questions now, and then we go into the next topic, unless... maybe we do it that way. This is obviously the first episode, so we're kind of just feeling it out. If you guys want to drop your questions about Uncharted and answer our question about whether you think look at me saying Uncharted again. What have you done? The Last of Us 2. Drop your questions about The Last of Us 2 and answer our question whether you think The Last of Us 2 is maybe too violent, has it crossed that boundary of just kind of being slightly like murder porn. I don't know.
That's what we had a chat about. So drop, and let me actually go in the chat quickly and have a quick looky.
Yeah, there's some good questions coming through here.
I'm gonna answer the ones that are related to the topic. Did you get your money back after watching Deadpool because it was violent? Bro, no. Like I said, the John Wick example is a perfect example of why movies and games are just different. A lot of people are surprised I'm alive after all those burpees. Damien saying Neil Druckmann did say it was going to be a tough to play through. That's true. A lot of people are saying it's going to be, it's going to hit you in your core, and that's kind of why. It's kind of why I'm glad we're talking about it now. Damien Rich is also saying he doesn't think it's too violent, which is cool. Different strokes, different oaks, different strokes. Will they be bringing multiplayer online back, Jimmy? I don't think so. From what I know, it's single player only.
They might bring a multiplayer in later on.
Maybe as a slap on, yeah. We got my boy Hanku. How you doing, buddy? The fact that they work a lot more on character personality it's amazing. You fall in love with the characters, and obviously that leaves a mark on your life of gaming. Number one was the best game I've ever played, and I can always replay it without getting bored. Well, there you go. There's a fan of the first game, like myself. I had the same experience as him. It was my game of the.
You loved that game. That's why I gave it. I keep giving it chances. But,
yeah.
All right,
let's try one more question. And
I'm going to switch back to the host view.
We got a lot of cool questions coming down. People watch worse movies from my boy Q-Blair. People watch worse movies with more violence and dramatic scenes. You should see the game as a movie. So this is an interesting. People are comparing to movies. I think immersion-wise, games have a way higher or deeper level of immersion than a movie. A movie, I crack a couple of beers, watch John Wick 3. And I'm just like, yeah, boy, where's the game? I'm like, okay, I've got 3 bandages. But they're killing my friend. There's more emotion involved in the game. But that's what I think. We're back to the big screen. We're going to move on to our next topic of the evening. But thank you for those questions for The Last of Us 2, not Uncharted. Next, we're jumping into Command and Conquer Remastered. I played it earlier this week on the stream, loved it to bits and pieces. Myself and Neil both have about 2-3 hours into the game. So we're going to touch on what our thoughts of what, is it any good? Should you pick it up? Is it just a cheap cash-in, like so many remakes / remasters these days? And we can get Neil back in here. Take me to some gameplay, Mr. Producer Man.
All right,
please.
You have to talk to me because I have to quickly switch while you're looking at me now. That's how this whole
flickering camera.
I don't know what's going on with my camera today, but
that's all right. Thank you, Mr. Producer Man. Take us to some gameplay.
Right.
So I've got to say that there's so much attention to detail left for this remaster. Not even just from the graphics and the soundtrack that's all been redone, but even when you load up the game for the first time, it actually has a sequence where it basically shows you like the original being upgraded. Neil, you know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the intro when you boot it up for the first time. And it's just they didn't have to add that in. They didn't have to go through the effort of,
This game is great.
Are you having a good time with it?
I am. It's super difficult. I'm trying to play it on full normal difficulty. And it's basically like a puzzle game at that point. It's so difficult. The damn Grenadier guys in GDI, one Grenadier guy can destroy my entire base, and it drives me crazy.
Dude, if you were brave enough to watch my playthrough, or not only playthrough, I got to the third level in 3 hours.
Don't watch
I struggled, dude. The first mission must have taken me. All you had to do the first mission, playing as the Allies, and this is Red Alert, is go in, get Einstein out of the building and get him to the helicopter. I must have taken 6 attempts at it, dude, at least, trying to do it.
Were you playing on the normal difficulty mode?
Playing on normal difficulty. It is so brutally hard. Modern games, and that's a topic for a different night, but modern games aren't nearly as hard as that, except for maybe the Soul series and stuff like that. We're spoiled in terms of the hand-holding we get in modern gaming. But let's talk about the actual graphics. Let's talk about the spacebar effect, Neil. What do you think of that?
I love it. I think as a remaster goes, it's really clever because all they really did is just up-res the graphics to 4K, so it looks really like you'll see here what the difference is in this sequence here. Like that's how it used to look, and you used to be like, "Here's the little men. This is so cool." Where now, like when they switch it across, you'll be like, "Oh wow, that's quite the difference now that they've done." And it's not massively. It's not like it looks the same. It's almost like how your brain remembers it looking. That's how the new version looks. Whereas if you go back and play the old version, then it looks really, really bad. But I'm watching some of the comments here. Just playing Jimmy's got some negative nostalgia going on here, saying all of these games are a cash grab.
My boy.
But I must say, the amount of effort these guys put into it, here's like a really good definition of like the difference between like the two. It's subtle, but it's dramatic. And it's really, really cool. Like just how clean and how much it looks like the old game, which is the best part about it. And it runs super smoothly, and they don't really change anything about the games other than just some quality of life things, like slightly easier mouse controls, some mildly better AI. Even though I discovered today, if you put the AI on easy, it's your AI is 1,000,000 times cleverer than it is on normal.
Really?
Yeah. Like your tanks will run over guys by themselves on easy, which is really
wow. Because I was struggling with that, dude. Like you'd have tanks guarding an ore field with an ore truck going.
They never shoot. Someone would just chill there.
And they would just do nothing. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
But that's how the game used to be, and that's kind of what I like.
It's terrible.
But dude, what a great game! I'm having so much. Like, it's super frustrating, but it's frustrating kind of in like a Dark Souls kind of way, where when you succeed and when you win the map or win the mission, it's super satisfying. It took me like 8 hours to finish the one mission, and it was totally worth it.
Probably like probably a third or fourth level,
And also,
it's
like
incredibly
the original Command and Conquer is difficult. Like that, like Red Alert, they actually made a ton of improvements from the original, because the original was like the first modern RTS ever released. But I just think like what they did with this remaster is what they should have done. They upscaled everything, made it all look really good. With these videos here, so they didn't have the original source material. They only had VHS tape of the original source. So they had to use AI, like that AI that redoes the 1915 videos and all of those things.
Yes,
and
the Peter Jackson used.
That kind of AI is what they use to upscale it and get the color quality better. And all the human stuff looks really, really good. And then the CGI looks like early 90s CGI. But it's amazing. Look at Kane. Look at him.
Yeah, that looks impressive.
Badass guy. He's cool.
Yeah. That secret source they used to revive that footage.
But everything, the UI changes. It's the same UI, but it looks better. The music, it's the same music, but it sounds 1,000,000 times better. And Craig saying, yes, he is a cynical grouch. Craig, you should buy the game and play it, bro. You'll probably love it.
He's not a cynical grouch. He's my squeaky bum, Jimmy. Squeaky bum, SBJ in the house. How you doing, buddy? Squeaky bum.
But it's really, really cool, man. It's like, it's because I love playing these old games, and I know they have the issues and whatever. And like, I love I like Command and Conquer 3. I liked Red Alert 3. They're all really good. But Red Alert 1 is honestly one of the best games ever made. Just from a ridiculous story method, from a production quality, from a fun level. It's just an awesome, awesome game.
And I think, we just touched on it earlier about the fact that even the entire soundtrack, I'm talking, all the music from the expansions, all the music from the console version with the extra missions was all completely remade by the original band, the Tiberium Sons. They're still alive. They got together. They remade all the music. There's a jukebox feature in the game where you can go and basically pick your favorite tracks. There must be about 60, 70 tracks from all the games, maybe more, maybe 80. And basically make your own playlist. And it's just, like I said, remastered to perfection. The original guys, original composers, everything. And it's great. I mean, it's nostalgia overload, buddy.
Yeah. No, dude, it's super fun. And it just runs really well. And it's what I always think. Like, old games, if they're really good, are still great games, even if you play them now. And this game is testament to that fact. Like, if you go and play it on DOSBox or whatever, if you have the original, it's tough to play. Where now, it's still freaking tough to play, but there's nothing getting in the way of you and enjoying the game. It's just looks and sounds. It's such an awesome game, man. The music is amazing. Awesome. The soundtrack alone is worth the cost.
Soundtracks, just how much on repeat, buddy? That's all I play.
No, dude,
got my boy
Mechanical Man, bro. That's my jam.
Coming through with a little comment here. Command and Conquer Childhood right there. It was my first strategy game I played. The Tiberium Saga was one of the most fun games I played. The way they used the real-life actors for sequences, Kane was just someone to give you excitement. It was amazing watching Dave stream it and how they improved the graphics. I actually remember the first time I booted the game. I'm so glad they brought this back. Can't wait till I get the chance to play it. And that's exactly it, buddy. That's exactly it. Like, we were in the same boat. We couldn't wait to play it. It blew my expectations out the water. The fact that you can literally hit the spacebar key and it literally
it looks so good when it happens.
Oh,
it looks so like you think, oh yeah, it's just changing, but it's so cool, man. And it's cool to play it in the old rubbish graphics as well. Like, it is, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably going to end up playing it after this podcast. Like,
we've been talking about it so much. The only other game I remember doing that awesome spacebar / hit a button and take you back to the original graphics was the Halo Master Chief Collection. They had that, and that was an incredible feature. I don't know how they did it. I haven't seen many other games do it since then because I think it's quite a complex thing to add into.
A couple of games do it, depending on how difficult it is.
Yeah. But for every remaster they ever make, that needs to be in there. That needs to be a feature that they have because that is so cool just to see a scene, hit a button, go back to the original, and actually see all the fruits of the artists behind the work, the labors, the fruits of their labor. See it just with the click of a button,
Yeah, it's really,
you know what I'm saying? Cool. So, Neil, would you recommend buying Command and Conquer?
Absolutely. Look, it's not cheap. It's about 300 Rand. Luckily, we do have a little giveaway going on at the moment. A little shameless plug.
Yeah.
So you can win a copy.
Tell them how to enter, Neil.
So just go to our amazing Facebook page. Be sure that you are following and liking of the Facebook page. Find the post around the Command and Conquer Remaster. Tag 3 of your friends and drop us a comment on why you think Command and Conquer is so cool. It can't be simpler.
Yeah. That's it. You've only got till Monday. We're going to pick a winner next week, Monday, so make sure you go enter. We'll try to pin it to the top of the page.
PC only. It's only on PC.
PC only. But it's open to the entire world, international competition, because it's a digital code. We can give it to anyone. So even if you're watching this in Hungary,
what is Hungary?
Hungary. That's a place, Neil. Read a book, Neil. Hungary, you can win it as well. So that brings us to our question time of the evening. The last 15 minutes we want to dedicate to you guys. So anything you guys want to ask with regards to The Last of Us 2, some of the stuff that we've spoken about, please feel free to jump into the chat. Lee saying, what games did you guys like to be remastered from childhood? Very good question. Neil, I'm going to give that to you first. I can give myself another 20 seconds.
I would love to see an Ultima remake. I know they're going to mess it up. It's going to be terrible. But
very
like
good choice.
Either Ultima 7 or Ultima Underworld. But like, just remake it with a new engine, same game. Yeah. Make it like this. I will buy Ultima 7 tomorrow, and it'll sell a bajillion copies.
Dude, the Black Gate, so good. Yeah. You're a huge fan.
Dude.
Neil's the biggest Ultima fan. He played what was it? What was that game that you played? The original?
Oh, first one, Calibeth.
Dagger. Yeah, I mean, dude, people don't even know what that is, but you were playing it.
Yeah.
You know.
You go on a spaceship at the end of that game. It's kind of weird. They hadn't
sorted
everything out.
We got some Calibeth fans out there.
Yeah. It came out in 1978.
Yeah, jeez, dude. For me, it's got to be. It's a tough question. I'm probably gonna regret this answer when I watch this later. Oh, now I'm double guessing myself, but I would not mind seeing a excellent remaster of Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness.
Oh, they're just gonna mess that up, obviously.
No, I know. Maybe even Diablo 2. I wouldn't mind seeing a Diablo 2.
I wouldn't mind like a Diablo
2.
1, Diablo 2 remaster, like, you know, kind of
Yeah,
like
well,
this.
yeah, Diablo 1, even Warcraft 1 is like,
but
that's
like take
great.
Diablo 1, add the new controls, add like build it in the Diablo 2 engine and up-res everything. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would say Warcraft 2 or Diablo 2, but not a cash-in, not a reforged. You know what I'm saying? Because cheese and rice.
But you're asking the company that made Reforged to make you a remake.
I know, and that's another topic on its own is Blizzard and like how they've fallen from grace. But hopefully, I've seen some recent footage of Diablo 4, and it's looking good. But having said that, I know this is off topic, but having said that, dude, it doesn't look much better than a PoE or some of these other isometric RPGs that are out there for like $200 made by teams of 12 people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Path of Exile, stuff like that.
Yeah. And some of those are better. What was that game you were playing a couple of months ago?
Wilson.
Yeah.
Laws of Destruction.
That's
Fantastic
that's a better game than Diablo 3.
Dude, exactly. So, it's a shame that they have had a bit of a fall from grace. But
I think what's nice about like this game specifically is that Westwood doesn't exist anymore, and they had so many great games. Where, like with Blizzard, like they still don't want to remake their old games well because they're fans of just playing Jimmy, where they're like, we must only sell our new games and make sure our new games sell 1 million. And like if people want to play the old games, they're stuck in the past and whatever. So with this, I think that's why guys, while Kane does this little dance here, like guys know like what's happening, and people wanted this game for years, and they knew it would never happen, and now it's happened.
Yeah,
and I think it was the #1 selling game. I think it's still like top 3 on Steam.
On Steam, yeah. I don't know how they pulled it off, and I don't know how they didn't cock it up and do a cheap cash in, but I commend the guys behind the remake. They did an impeccable job. And we've got another question coming down. Do you think they will bring back, from my boy Hanku, bring back classic LAN to connect via a hub at a LAN party? That would be the best. Now, that's an interesting question because, dude, like, what's the demand like for classic LAN these days? I mean, let's be honest.
To be honest, like, that's rose-tinted glasses. Like, if you go to like someone's house with fiber these days, even if you connect to their wireless network, you're getting better performance than on any classic LAN through a thing. So even if you're connecting to a data center somewhere, it's probably less laggy and better, like everything, than connecting through your old 10100 switch, finding out what the IP address of the main guy is, making sure you all have the right version of the game, copying it across. The one guy's PC doesn't have like the right drivers, so you have to reinstall everything on his PC. Then like you run out of space, so you can't like do everything. And like LANs were horrible things, man. Where you spend like 90% of the LAN setting up to play the LAN, and then by the time you get everything running, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Everyone's outside smoking cigarettes. Like good times, but like it's not what you remember.
It's not the
4K Command and Conquer that you remember.
I remember still, doing LANs with you and the LANs back in the day. And it would take us, dude, like an hour. So we'd get a game, some guy would be on the wrong version, just like you said. But then, oh no, something else is wrong. It would take us like 2 hours to get into a game, dude.
Yeah.
And by then we've just downloaded, like swapped all the movies and games we have, and we just kind of get drunk and we're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Maybe get a game in.
I used to take an entire second PC. So when someone's PC broke, I could just be like, here's a PC, it works, go and play. Like, I don't want to fix your PC.
Yeah.
And, oh, man. And then, like, one guy's network cable wouldn't work. Or one guy, I remember my one friend, he had a screen that you couldn't sit next to him because his screen created interference on everyone else's screen and made the screen go all wobbly like this. Oh, man.
Well, there you go. That's
good memories, but they must stay that way. They must stay as memories, not like the Command and Conquer Remaster. They really outdid themselves with this.
I think that's the stuff people forget. They kind of like nostalgia just takes over, like, oh, the LAN days, but it was a ball ache, dude. I remember the dial-up days. I used to play Half-Life multiplayer against Neil, and it would literally be like like take us half an hour of like someone in the house picking up the phone when you try to dial my modem. This is how old we are. And then someone would pick up the phone, ruin the connection. We have to start all over again.
It was your mom.
To try to get a game of Half-Life. It was my mom. Like, Mom, I still remember screaming, don't pick up the phone. And literally as it would ring, bloop, hello. And then I have to get hold of Neil. Oh, do try again. And Neil's like, well, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Just tell him to pick up the phone. And this would carry on for like 40 minutes.
And then my mom would shout at me because I couldn't like use the phone the whole weekend.
Yeah, she's like, well, yeah. She's like, why can't I use the phone? And like, anyway,
like, no, we're playing games over the internet. Like they're like, that's impossible. You're a
like, what are you talking
wizard.
about?
Yeah.
Dave's not here, is he? Where's Dave? No, he's at home. Oh, you a demon? Do you have demon powers?
Yeah. It's good times. Good times.
It was good times. It was good times. So to the point being, you know, it was fun back in the day, but I don't miss it. I don't think there's much demand for it these days. And I think I'm happy just to right click on my friend list and invite someone to a game. And have
we must have a little throwdown there, Dave.
Yeah, throwdown
of Command and Conquer.
Oh, you want to play against me, just like the old days?
Yeah.
I'm down. Maybe we stream it.
This isn't generals. This is like old school.
I know. I need to find my side first. Give me some time, but I'm keen.
There's only 2.
I'm down to climb. Oh, really? There are only 2 for the whole of Red Alert. They didn't have like expansions.
No, it was always just Soviets versus Allies.
Allies, okay.
But yeah, by the time the expansions came out, you got some cool stuff.
Let me tinker around, but I'm keen to do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's basically, ladies and gentlemen, our very first episode of the Super 2-bit podcast. Just say Jimmy in Twitch. How's he in Twitch? How's he in Twitch? He's not supposed to know about our super secret Twitch channel that no one knows about. But he found it. He's sneaky. I like it. Well done, Jimmy. Well done, Squeaky Bum. Squeaky Bum Jimmy.
Make sure you follow that channel. That's spelt wrong.
Yeah, we have a Twitch channel that we've started just to dedicate to the podcast content. It is called, and Neil spelt it wrong. What's it called, Neil?
It's Super2bit, but the super doesn't have an E because my old keyboard wasn't good.
So what is it?
Super2bit podcast.
All right, we're gonna try to fix that. We have to wait 2 months to change the name now. But anyway. Good. If you can find it, then you've earned it. So,
but also this podcast will be up on the YouTube page. It will be up on the Facebook page, so you can watch it again. And hopefully, maybe even tomorrow night, we might be doing a super special podcast.
Well, in fact, no, don't say super. Don't be ominous about it. We need the views. Watch tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. We will be live streaming the PlayStation 5 reveal event. 10 o'clock our time in the evening. So
10
come
PM.
join us, 10 p.m. Come grab a beverage, top up the vino. Come watch it with us. We're going to watch it live together. And then we can all chime in, chat about it afterwards. Instead of just watching some stream by yourself on your phone, like, in a lonely beanbag in the corner with a blanket, come watch it with us. It's a lot more fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. It is our first episode. We're going to work out some kinks.
Yeah, my camera decided it didn't want to be part of this episode for whatever reason.
It decided it was from 2007.
I have no idea what's going on with the camera. It's never given me any issues. Now tonight it's like,
But any feedback you guys have on the podcast, much appreciated. Let us know what you guys think, things we can maybe improve, change for the better. Please share it out. We're trying to get the podcast getting some decent traction. Share it to your profiles. Your mother's profile, your father's, your celebrity pets, all their profiles, share it out to them. Like I said, it's going to be a weekly show. We haven't decided on the day yet. It's probably going to be maybe a Wednesday night, Daniel.
Yeah, a
Wednesday night from 6 till 7. Look, speaking of celebrity pets, who's that over there, Neil?
Oh, this is my dog. He's been sitting on my lap for about half the show.
Frick, get him into the camera. This is Finn, everyone.
This is Finn. Hello, Finn.
I can't see him now. He's a tiny dog. Get him to the camera. Put him closer.
Oh, hold on. I don't know where the camera is.
Hey, Finn. How you doing, buddy? Let's give him a wave. Everyone give Finn a wave. He's a cute little doggy. So there we have it. MacGuffin. What? MacGuffin can. I want to thank every single one of you that joined in for our first episode. Like I said, give us a share. We need to get it out there. Dave's audio is much clearer than Neil's. Yeah, Neil's using his headset. I'm using the standalone mic. But I think as we get more guests on the show, which we're going to have on the regular, we're going to have like different people on the show. They're more than likely going to be using headset mics. So you can have the Dave in 4K, like Audible HD. How you guys doing? Let me wash over you.
Well, we should be getting some nice things soon. So
we should be getting some improved mics, but not everyone has those mics. But as long as I'm coming through sound clear and sound, that's all I care about. Oh, wait, Hanku was saying shirts are done, guys. We are ready to go. All right, cool. We're going to be chatting after the stream. Thank you to everyone that joined us. Jimmy, Hanku, Isaac, my boy, Squeaky Bum Jimmy. He loves that name. Damien Richards, every single one of you guys. Don't forget to give us a share. Musa, Craig Martin, every single one of you guys. Thank you for joining us. We will be back.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Mark the date in the diary because let's watch together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big deal. PS5's dropping. You don't want to miss it. Until then, JC sneaking in at the end there. JC, go watch the podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Much luck to you guys. See you tomorrow at 10 p.m. It's your boy. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Finn. Bye-bye.
Sweat.